Hello and welcome. In today's module, we will be discussing all things meditation and how you can take actionable steps to developing a long-term meditation practice. Many of you will already be aware of the 8 wonders of well-being, but if you're new here, I'll share a very simple explanation. The 8 wonders are essentially 8 tools that are going to increase your space in life. They consist of lifestyle medicine strategies, positive psychology interventions, and tools for emotional regulation. Essentially, these tools serve as pillars, each representing a fundamental aspect of an energized, balanced, and emotionally fulfilling life. I think that the interconnectedness of all the wonders lies in their collective ability to address and support various facets of your physical, your mental, and your emotional well-being. In today's module, we will discuss meditation, and I'd like to give you some actionable steps that you can take forward to cultivate a daily meditation practice. Meditation is a lot more than what it is outwardly perceived to be. I really believe it provides us with this incredible opportunity to develop our mind and manage our physical and psychological world in ways that were not imaginable at the start of the practice. Throughout this module, I really encourage you to approach meditation with an open mind. Dedicate at least 3 weeks to its practice and give meditation the opportunity to demonstrate its potential benefits to you. Let's start by looking at the science behind meditation. The first benefit of meditation I wish to discuss is brain rewiring. Meditation ultimately induces neuroplasticity, which then leads to structural and functional changes in the brain. The brain regions affected by meditation are known to be involved in emotional, structural, and memory processing. You can think of the brain as a wonderfully plastic organ that responds to every activity that you do. The more you practice something, the more developed that region of the brain becomes. So when you repeatedly do an activity, you're strengthening the neural connections involved, which then develops those associated regions of the brain. Remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. And the more we are firing and wiring neurons that are supporting our mega self, the more aligned our brain and our habits become to bringing that reality towards us. The second benefit I wish to discuss is that of a shift in brain activity. Studies are finding that over time, meditation may lead to an increase in grey matter density in both the hippocampus and other frontal regions in the brain. Now, this increase in grey matter and the left hippocampus aid in learning, cognition, and memory, which results in a better retention of facts and more mindful behavior. There's also seen to be incredible benefit towards cognitive function, attention, and self-awareness. Now, studies are also showing that if you observe the brain for 6 to 12 months after meditation, and it's usually around 20 to 30 minutes a day, you can see changes in structure as well as changes in function. So another huge benefit in starting a meditation practice. Now, another exciting benefit of meditation is that it can deactivate our sympathetic nervous system or our fight-flight response. So when we encounter a stress or a threat, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in. This releases stress hormones that help us either run or fight the danger. Once the danger has passed, our parasympathetic nervous activates, and this allows us to rest and relax. Now, through the meditation practice, you're essentially deactivating your sympathetic nervous system and turning on your parasympathetic branch. Studies have found that over time, this practice can therefore help reduce pain, depression, stress, and anxiety. So let's look at the purpose of meditation. Meditation essentially provides an environment to practice emotional regulation, which is a core wonder in the Megacell framework. It allows us to work with physical sensations, emotions, and thoughts in a controlled environment. Emotions are a little bit like a slippery fish. They're not always there when we want to practice them. And when they are there, it's a bit hard to hold on to them. It's therefore incredibly helpful to develop an environment that allows us to essentially hold on to the fish for long enough to increase our understanding of the fish. So meditation is an opportunity to practice the skills of emotional regulation and being with emotion that will support our emotional well-being in a simplified and controlled environment. This way, we don't have to wait until we're in the depth of the emotion to practice being with that emotion. So it gives us space to learn how to become the witness of emotion. It gives us space to be able to start to feel into the sensations within our physical, mental, and emotional body on a daily basis. Now, I can't tell you how often I hear from people saying, I just can't meditate. I can't stop the constant thoughts. I sit down and all I think about is everything that I have to do. Now, what they usually mean is that their minds are too busy to focus on nothing, which, to be honest, can take years to master. However, for the purpose of this module, your ability to stay focused on stillness isn't the main goal. Not being able to concentrate on a single anchor or absolute presence or have nothing happening in your brain doesn't mean you can't meditate. It simply means that you might struggle with focused concentration. So let's try an activity together. On your screen, you will see 2 ducks. Now, what I want you to do is focus on the left duck, then shift your attention to the right one. Now repeat this process 10 times. Now, your ability to do this demonstrates your ability to shift your awareness from one point to the other. Meditation is a very similar process. The objective is to learn how to shift your focus and to train your mind. Ultimately, we want to train our minds into noticing where our thoughts are going and eventually being able to shift that focus and return to a state that serves who we choose to be. Now, if you can move your attention between these 2 ducks, then you can meditate. So with any type of meditation practice, we start off with our intention on an anchor. The theory of meditation is to stabilize your mind and attention on this focus point. Now, this could be music, your breath, a relaxing sound, some progressive muscle relaxation, voice prompts, or even an object. That anchor merely provides a reference point from which you can know or observe you have drifted. It's a bit like stars to a sailor. They use them to show them when they have drifted off track and then aim to realign themselves. The next part of the process is to notice when your mind wanders from this anchor. Any shift in your awareness from your chosen anchor is a distraction. You deal with this distraction by noticing that you are distracted and then returning to your anchor. Now, the aim is to be aware of whatever is happening without reacting to it, and then to stabilize your mind back to your anchor. Let me give you an example. You start a 10-minute breathing practice, and within 30 seconds, you feel uncomfortable. This thought leads you to changing position. This thought then has led to a shift in your awareness. Now you're thinking, oh, I'm so uncomfortable, I can't focus. Now, this doesn't mean you should or shouldn't move. What it does mean is that you can notice that your awareness has drifted. You can notice that you feel uncomfortable. You deal with the distraction simply by noticing that you're distracted, and then you return to your breath. So it's about being the observer of the experience rather than being actively engaged in the experience. It's about stepping back. It's about teaching you how to increase your space between stimulus and response, how to stand outside what is happening. So rather than reacting, you're becoming the observer. So how does this translate to real life experience? Let's use this example. You're cut off in traffic and you feel really angry. You unconsciously react to this anger and allow the buildup of the week's frustration to be released at another driver on the road. You scream, you're calling them names, you eventually get home and you pour yourself a glass of wine and you stew on this incident all weekend. Now, on the other hand, if you've developed a meditation practice, part of that practice would have been teaching you how to recognize the anger you're feeling. And you would have been practicing being the observer. Now, you might not react at all. And if you do, you might have more space to decide how much energy you want to put into that reaction. But you most definitely will feel a conscious choice as to whether you want to hold on to that anger. You would have practiced essentially flipping the switch. So meditation enhances our awareness towards emotional flexibility. It helps us direct our energy towards where it's most needed. It also helps with increased self-awareness, allowing you to almost observe your inner world and observe and choose your reactions to your outer world. Over time, this skill creates space between stimulus and response, enabling a pause that supports non-reactivity. So in summary, meditation creates a space for practicing emotional regulation and allowing us to engage with our physical sensations, our emotions, our thoughts. Through a meditation practice, we begin to recognize our habitual patterns. Consider a hectic day when everything seems fine on the surface. You're running around, you've got so much going on, and then you decide to take a midday meditation break. Now, in that meditation break, you may notice tension in your fists or jaw, or you may even notice a churning in your stomach or lots of thinking, all signs of underlying stress. Now, the stillness of meditation enables us to tune into these sensations we might have otherwise overlooked. The other thing is, during meditation, we sit and observe without a specific expectation. Various emotions like boredom may come up, agitation, frustration, anger, or even fear. Now, meditation offers an opportunity to witness the emergence of those emotions and how they are sustained by our reactions and our avoidance strategies. So it's not merely about just sitting in silence, but more about deepening our awareness of our present state. For me, the essence of meditation lies in both relaxation and mental emotional flexibility. It's a chance to create an environment that's relatively controlled and undisturbed. While achieving a state of relaxation is not the sole aim, it naturally occurs as a result of the practice. Ultimately, meditation is a repeated behavior that brings about changes to our brain, which leads to enhanced mental health. It's a practical process rather than an abstract concept. And like any skill, mastery develops over time. Now, some individuals do experience positive results even in the early stages. But as I said at the beginning of this module, I'd give yourself at least 3 weeks and simply start to notice how it's bringing in a little bit more self-awareness, how it's bringing in a little bit more space between that stimulus and response. Now remember, our primary purpose is not to empty the mind or to eliminate thoughts and emotion. Instead, we aim to transform our relationship with them. Now, this shift involves cultivating awareness and curiosity towards our thoughts and emotions. So before we begin today's practice, here are some helpful tips to enhance your meditation experience. Number 1 is to find a quiet space. Practice in a quiet room free of distractions, and definitely turn off your phone. Anything that's going to distract you, get rid of it. The next one is to communicate boundaries. Let others know you don't wish to be disturbed for the duration of your practice. The next one is to maintain your posture. Now, I really recommend sitting upright to prevent falling asleep, and this also helps maintain that focused awareness. The next one is up to you, but it can be really helpful to close your eyes. That can reduce visual distractions, but if it's comfortable to you, you can just simply rest your gaze on a fixed point. The next one is to set a timer. I like having an alarm or using a meditation app that will signal the end of the practice. I can then just be fully immersed in the practice. The next one is to commit to non-reactivity. Try to remain non-reactive for that time period. Even if a distraction arises, even if you've gone off for about 3 minutes, or 5 minutes even, thinking about what you need to do when you finish your meditation, just simply bring your thoughts, bring your attention back to your anchor. The more and more you do that practice, the more and more you train your brain to come back to the anchor, the easier it becomes. We will now do a 5-minute breathing meditation practice together. So you might want to pause this video and set up a space that you won't be disturbed. For the duration of this meditation, we're going to be using our breath as an anchor. The breath is such an amazing anchor because, number 1, it's always with us. And number 2, whenever we focus on our breath, this induces a physiological relaxation response in the body. So let's begin by bringing our attention to the sensation of our breath. In and out. In and out. Now you can start to notice the natural rhythm of your breathing without trying to change it in any way. You may feel the coolness of air as you inhale and the warmth as you exhale. Allow your breath to flow effortlessly like gentle waves in the ocean. As you continue to breathe, observe any thoughts, emotions, or sensations that arise. There's no need to push them away or get caught up in them. Simply acknowledge their presence and gently guide your focus back to your breath. If your mind wanders, which is perfectly normal, gently bring your attention back to the sensation of your breath. You can use your breath as an anchor to tether your mind whenever it drifts away into thoughts or distractions. Now let's take a few moments to practice this. I'll keep track of time so you can fully immerse yourself in the experience of following your breath. So for the next 2 minutes, just bring your awareness to your breath. And if your mind wanders, simply notice that it's wandering, and then bring your awareness back to your breath. Now for the next part of this meditation, you can follow my cues. Taking one deep breath in through your nose, and without exhaling, take another deep, deep breath in. Hold at the top, and now completely exhale. And you can do that one more time. Take a deep, deep breath in. And when you can't take any more in, take another sip of air in. And then do another big, big exhale. As we start to near the end of this meditation, I wonder if you can just spend a few moments appreciating yourself for putting this time aside. You might want to notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. And remember, it's okay if your mind wandered during the session. Each time you bring your awareness back to your breath, you're strengthening your ability to stay focused and present. And so when you are ready, you can gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the present moment. Take in a deep breath, and as you exhale, bring your awareness back to your surroundings. So thank you for joining me in this breathing meditation. I really encourage you to continue incorporating moments of mindfulness in your daily routine. use your breath as a guide to anchor yourself in the present moment. So whenever you're feeling a little bit scattered, whenever you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you can actually just do that physiological sigh. So it's breathing in to the top of your lungs. And then when you feel you can't take in any more air, taking another sip of air in, holding it, and then a big exhale. That simple tool can be such an amazing practice to incorporate into your daily life. Meditation isn't a quick fix solution, but it's rather a continuous practice. There is so much evidence supporting its long-term benefits. And every day that you devote to meditation, you are effectively rewiring your brain and enhancing your mental skills. For the next 21 days, I will invite you to start your own meditation practice. Choose the duration that feels achievable to you. Anything from 3 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day to 40 minutes a day. If you make this action step achievable, you'll be more likely to practice it every day. I will also provide a few different meditations in the module, as well as a link to the different meditation apps. So have a great day, have a great night, have a great week ahead, and bye for now.